I was already pretty excited when I saw this figure's prototype, the unpainted one in Wonder Festival, right? And now the painted sample looks even better. But the bad news, for me at least, is the base. They nerfed the base. Hi and welcome back to the channel. It is another Sunday. We are into the first Sunday of November, so it is figure news fixed day. We'll be taking a look at figures on pre-order between 6th to 11th of November 2023. So did you buy anything during the singles day sales on 11th of November? It is an Asian thing though. I don't think there are any sales going on in the western side of the planet. Anyway, now we shall go into HLJ.com first, and then we'll stop by Ami and Ninin Game for the genuine figures, and lastly, third-party resin figures, OzGK, our affiliate partners. Alright, the first one over here, we are off to a great start already. A low-cost skill figure from Good Smile, where they make excellent figures normally, even at a low price point. 1x7 skill Aris mid version from Blue Archive, only 16,300 yen after a small discount, coming out in November 2024. Okay, so I myself am not too sure yet whether I'll pick up this figure or not, but Shiromi by Spiritale, which we'll talk about her later, yeah, that is a must-have for me. That is a sure buy for me. This Aris, she looks great as well, and the only problem I have with this figure is mostly down to the character design. Like, yeah, she's pretty cute, but the color scheme of this whole thing, including her skin tone, her skin color, it looks really pale, right? I don't know if she is an undead or something like that, but she looks really pale, like zombie-like skin tone. So I'm not too sure because I don't know much about the background of this character. I have a friend who literally just started playing Blue Archive 2 days ago, and he is loving it so much already. For me, I don't really have that much time to pick up so many games, but I'm hearing a lot of positive feedback in general. So this figure, needless to say, if you love her, this is a must-have for Blue Archive fans and collectors. This thing is so affordable, and I'm really happy to see skill figures are like, we're not seeing an endless price increase. 30,000 yen this year, 40,000 yen next year, and so on. We are actually starting to see price starting to stabilize or even drop, and this is a really good sign for us collectors. Doesn't look like inflation is hitting the figure market as bad, or maybe these figure brands, they have figured out a way to make figures cheaper. As long as they can maintain the quality, I don't have any complaints over here. The next two figures by Bear Panda. Okay, Bear Panda makes 1x6 scale low cost anime figures from artist original characters. This first one over here, Sia illustration by Asanagi, 6,000 yen only at 1x6 scale, coming out in September 2024. And the second one, they are a pair, Rin, from the same company, for the same price, and also coming out in September. So these two figures, they are meant to be together, as you can see. So at 6,000 yen, not only you're getting a 1x6 scale figure, you're getting a bar top diorama base of some kind. And even me, as someone who has been complaining every other week that we have too many bunny figures, bunny suit figures, there are way too many out there. But at this price point, combined with that bar top base over there, it is hard to say no, right? I'm not expecting miracles over here, you see. These figures, they may be low at the detail side of things, and then maybe the paintwork is flat and simple, but as long they don't have any major flaws, I totally can see myself picking up this pair of figures over here. Yeah, I would say mostly down to the very fact that those bases over there are so appealing to me as a diorama figure photographer, right? So I'm actually looking forward to pick up these two figures over here. Maybe pick one up, they don't cost too much. Moving on to the next one, another bunny figure. This is a 1x4 scaled by Freeing Nazumi Yakuwa figure, 34,200 yen, coming out in June next year, 24. Okay, so I know nothing about this figure or this character. I know nothing about her. And once again, this thing looks a bit like a zombie, like an undead, right? Skin color must be the artist style or whatever content, whatever origin she came from, but I know nothing about her at all. So on top of that, well, it is pretty cool. She is holding a pair of what appears to be semi-automatic pistols, machine pistols, right, or SMGs. I'm not really a weapon nerd. But then in the end, it feels like, yeah, the colors are on the dull side of things. I love bright, colorful colors and so on. So in the end, I see this Barney figure over here as something really niche. Like, for those of you who know something about her, or you like character designs like this one, the aesthetic on this thing, then maybe pick one up, because 34,000 yen is on the low side. Moving on to the next one, we have quite a good looking Azur Lane figure, which does not cost too much either. From Wing Company, we have Royal Fortune Treats from the Deep version. 1x7 scale, only 20,400 yen. Once again, it is a great thing to see this trend of figure prices actually stabilizing and even becoming lower and lower over the past few months. This is a great progress. I mean, we are not looking at a Chinese brand over here. This is a Japanese brand, but at the same time, there has been occasions where Wings Company, they release some figures in China a month earlier than in Japan. So I do wonder if they actually have a Chinese branch over there, right? Just like Good Smile Company and Good Smile Arts Shanghai. I don't know if Wings Company is doing the same thing or not. There is a possibility as well. But this Azur Lane figure, I see it as a Halloween theme figure over here, obviously. This thing for 20k, yeah, not a bad purchase either. The next figure over here, this is also from Azur Lane, also by Wings Company, a lot more expensive, but I like this one a lot more than that Halloween figure we just covered. 1x7 scale Jean Bart, first Snow Upon the Cutlass Age version from Azur Lane, 27,000 yen, coming out in April 2024. Okay, now we are in November, coming out in April. That is pretty quick for a figure that is this great looking, this sophisticated, you know, so much stuff going on. And I know some of you guys are not a fan of giant bases like that. Like, no, it takes up way too much space and your detail space or display space is really limited. I get that. But when you look at the outfit of this figure, like all those stripes, all those long cloth around her, yeah, and then the base covers the figure's area just nicely. So I wouldn't call the base oversized. Unlike, yeah, FGO's Lancer Autoria, the one I reviewed. Yeah, that one was massive because it was an entire throne. But for this base, despite all this stuff going on in the background, right? I think the base size is just right for the figure. Yeah. As usual, Azur Lane keeps making it harder and harder for me to resist their stuff. This exact scene over here, it feels like something you'll see when a fashion photographer photographs a model for a magazine cover, for example. Yeah, that is what it feels like to me, this exact scene. All it needs is better lighting. Product photos, they are normally very flat in lighting because they want you to see every part of the figure clearly. So this thing, I like it a lot. I like it so much. And it is tough resisting Azur Lane stuff, but I'm certain one day I will cave in and buy something. Just that I still don't know which one I'll end up buying as my first Azur Lane figure. The next one over here, 1x7 scale Honor of Kings Mermaid Princess Doria from Mietos, 24,500 yen. This is totally Mietos stuff. Nowadays, Mietos, they kind of have a trademark, you see. Like, the moment you look at the figure, even without looking at the details, like what is the scale, what is the manufacturer, and so on, you can kind of tell it is a Mietos figure. Yeah, the aesthetic and the way the figure is being designed, it is totally their style over here. And Mietos is, they are growing fast. They are absolutely top 3 best Chinese figure brand at the moment. The only one single reason why I have not yet bought a figure from them is because they are not making figures of characters that I am interested in. But this is not necessarily a bad thing because I would prefer each figure brand to focus on their own niche, like what they are good at. The problem with Japanese figure brands is that they see one title, one game title, one character popular, and then everyone will jump in and make a figure of the same character. So you have 20, 30 different saber figures and grand figures. Everyone just wants a slice of the same profit pie, of the same game character, the same game title. And that is not a good thing when it is overdone. Sure, we consumers, we collectors, we like choices. The same character, we have 4 or 5 choices to choose from, that is good. But when we get like 30, 40 different figures of the same character, that becomes a problem. And I would rather figure brands focus on characters and titles that are less covered by pretty much everyone else, and that is exactly what Mythos is doing. I'll give them the credit for doing so. Moving on to the next figure. Okay, this is also among the best figures this week. Coming from Vertex 1x6 skill under their Elf series. This time around we have 3rd Villager Mercedes, which is a Dark Elf going for 26,000 yen. Okay, so this elf, the character design at least, yeah, reminds me of Bombergirl and Grim Aloe quite a bit. We have a Bombergirl on pre-order this week. And judging by, yeah, the hair fringes and the hairstyle, huge forehead underneath, but it doesn't matter, the character design looks great. And whether this is castable or not, I'm not too sure actually. I would say unlikely, I think, but that is not important, right? I mean, the character design is the only reason why you would want to buy this figure. And this thing over here, I love that grimoire she is holding. The thing is really detailed. That is what I'm always looking for in a figure. So by all means, this is an excellent purchase as well. Moving on to the next figure over here from the Idol Masters, Million Life, Miki Hoshi Little Devil Circuit Lady version. So we have Little Devil and then Race Queen. Okay, 17,500 yen by Union Creative. This is a re-release. Okay, I actually wasn't aware that Union Creative was making Idol Master figures all this while. Not to mention Race Queen figures, but then again, I cover so many figures every week, right? Like dozens of figures every week. And there are too many things to remember, so maybe there is a memory lapse over here. I might have seen her before, but I have forgotten about her. 17,500 yen is always a great price for any scaled figure, even if this is 1x8 instead of 1x7. But this is a non-scale. We take a look at dimensions, 25 centimeters with that flag over there. Yeah, I think this is closer to 1x7 scale. Miki Hoshi, well, I think the anime is airing currently, the adaptation, but I haven't started watching it yet. So this is for you guys, iMask fans. I've stopped collecting Idol Master. Yeah, I'm still keeping only Kanzaki Ranko by Outer. Moving on to the next one, we have more re-releases. Okay, 2 figures from Goblin Slayer by Fats Company. This is Priestess, 18,800 yen, coming out in June year 2024. So which Priestess figure is your favorite so far? Let me know down in the comments below. I am actually surprised by how much traction this seasonal anime is getting to spawn so many scale figures of Priestess already. Not to mention re-releases. Yeah, it is just a season 2. And to some of us, a season 2 plus a movie, there was a movie as well. Season 1, movie, then season 2. I suppose that if you are getting 3 adaptations, it is considered a big deal already in the world of seasonal anime, since so many things get abandoned after one single season because they don't do very well in sales, especially the Blu-ray disc market. Right? So to see this Goblin Slayer series getting so much traction, enough traction to spawn quite a number of scale figures, I wasn't expecting this, to be honest. And one more question I have is that now that season 2 is halfway, by the time these Goblin Slayer figures come out, regardless of whether it is something completely new or a re-release by the time the figure comes out, if this anime does not get a season 3, yeah, people will still forget about the series and move on to the other seasonal waifus. And that won't be good for the value of the figure in general, right? But I suppose that once the figure gets a re-release, yeah, the value is going to stabilize. It won't go up after release. The next one, also from Goblin Slayer, we have High Elf Archer. I believe this is the only scale figure of her at the moment. 19,276 yen by Fats Company. Also coming out in June. You know, when this figure of this High Elf came out, I think more than a year ago, I wasn't really paying attention. I assumed that this was an original art character. I didn't know it was from a seasonal anime because I picked up the anime Goblin Slayer much later, right? And I think this elf is probably a lot more popular than other characters in this anime, right? Let me know if you know something about it. But based on the character design alone, and the very fact that I'm now up to date with the latest episode of Goblin Slayer, I don't think this elf is possibly the most popular character in the series. She's pretty. So it is quite a wonder that no one else is making a skilled figure of her other than Fat's company at the moment. If you like her, definitely pick one up. Yeah. Moving on to the next one, more re-releases. So Attack on Titans just ended after 10 years, and it is a weird timing to re-release a figure after the anime ended. Normally, you will want to begin taking pre-orders when the final season started airing at the very first episode, so that by the time the final episode comes out, yeah, I think the waiting time between the ends of the anime to getting the figure is a bit shorter. So the timing of putting this figure on re-release is a bit odd to me, but given that how popular this anime is and some people consider it one of the best of the past decade, maybe the impression on this anime will last for quite a while. So Good Smile is re-releasing this 1x8 scale Mikasa Aquaman figure from almost 10 years ago. The interesting thing about this specific Mikasa figure is that back then, during the very first release many years ago, this figure was delayed by over a year. Yes, it was like Good Smile promised it to be out in year 2013, May, and then it came out in year 2014, third quarter, something like that. I don't remember the exact release date anymore, right? So now we're getting a re-release. I don't expect the same thing to happen, the same huge long delay. At the same time, if you were to ask me whether to pick up this Mikasa figure or not, or go for other brands, there are several choices for Mikasa. To me, until today, I still regard Good Smile Company's Mikasa to be the best Mikasa figure. The others are fine. Kotsubukiya or any other brands, they are fine. Even Pony Canyon made their own AOT figures as well, but I still regard this version to be the best one, especially with the face sculpt and everything. This is based on the first two seasons, the character design, not the more adult looking ones in later part of the anime. And it is still my favorite character design because the later versions where all the characters become more battle hardened, more veterans in fighting titans, yeah, all of them are starting to become a bit too macho for their own good, like too manly, even Mikasa, and I don't like the newer character designs. I personally prefer a female to be feminine instead of the opposite, too manly or too tomboy. That is just me, by the way. So until today, I still regard this version of Mikasa to be the best version of her. Fortunately, we're getting a re-release and you should get the DX version. There is no reason to get the regular version, which is like 3,000 yen cheaper. Yeah, this one over here where you get a simple plain round disc base for 18,800 yen. Go for the DX version and you'll get that roof base over there. This should be the one you go for, right? Moving on to the next one. Okay, we are looking at several low-cost figures from now onwards. Mega House GEM series, this is their palm-sized figures, I think. Yeah, very small. Suleta-chan from Gundam Witch from Mercury, just under 7,000 yen. Right? Yeah, they are really small. And until today, I still can't decide whether 7,000 yen is worth it for a figure this small. But it seems like it is popular enough somehow for people to buy them. Maybe in Japan, they sell pretty well because, you know, they live in very small houses, very small rooms, limited space. So they like their figures small. This is my plain guessing over here. Of course, the other character, yeah, Tenohira Miorine, for the same price as well, coming out in May. I have also mentioned this before, where I'm not a fan of figures like this where they are lying flat on the ground because you can't really enjoy much details on the figure, right? Because their whole body is flat against the ground and it is not like her backside is anything nice to look at either. Pretty ordinary. Yeah. Anyways, can you justify 7,000 yen each for something this small? I would love to hear your opinion on this one. The next Mega House GM series, we have One Piece Sport Girls The Ace Run under 7,000 yen. This isn't the first figure under this Run series. There are other characters and most of them, every single one of them have one similar flaw which I'm not a fan of, and that is one plastic god being shoved right up their ass over there. Not my kind of thing. Anyways, I don't collect One Piece. And the next figure over here, okay, there we have 5 or 6 pop-up rate figures on pre-order this week, right? The first one, we have Miriam from Hunter Cross Hunter, just under 4,000 yen. Initially, I thought I was looking at the Dragon Ball character, but something like this, maybe you can wait until after release. There is no hurry, really. The next one, we have Netero, or NTR, that old uncle that NTR's your girlfriend. From Hunter x Hunter, just under 4,000 yen as well. Is this that Kusojiji, or that disgusting perverted uncle, old grandpa you see in some anime, that stereotypical character? Because of that love post over there, I am starting to think he is that kind of character. So if you know something about him, yeah, let me know down in the comments below. Okay, and the next one from Doki Doki Literature Club, we have pop-up rate Sayori, just under 4,000 yen as well. Same comments every time for pop-up rates. This may be from Doki Doki Literature Club, where we don't get many figures, but can't recommend pre-ordering it. You can always wait until after release, especially for character like this where the mouth is open. Every time I see a figure with a mouth open like this one and it is a pop-up rate, I would be extra cautious. I wouldn't place an early bird pre-order, yeah. Next one, Hunter Cross Hunter as well. Neferpito, May release under 4,000 yen. So this is generic Nekomimi girl to me. But then again, this anime is a classic in some way. I wouldn't expect too much. Not to mention, for Hunter x Hunter, it is like there are not many options at all in the genuine figure market. So even if I were to tell you not to pre-order one too early because Good Smile might screw it up in any way, yeah, I can understand it if you choose to do otherwise and pre-order one. Next one, okay, pop-up rate Tracer from Overwatch 2, under 4,000 yen as well. Now, this is quite a good looking pop-up rate figure. Like, it is more detailed than a typical figure, right? I mean, look at those Hunter x Hunter figures and then compare it to this one. This obviously is next level. But at the same time, I would be cautiously optimistic about this figure. She looks great, and if the figure turns out okay, this is a steal at 4,000 yen. Okay, moving on to the next one, we have 2 pop-up rate figures from Attack of Titan. Okay, worldwide after party version. Okay, so we have Eren Yeager, under 4,000 yen. This is your typical, pop-up rate, not the L or XL. And also, we have Rainer Braun, worldwide after party version. So, I haven't watched Season 4 yet of AOT, but these figures, and judging by the name of the figure, worldwide after party version, this is already a spoiler, a dead giveaway that these 2 characters will survive all the way to the end. They don't die, right? Am I right? Yeah, just spoil me and mention it in the comments below. But when I see the word worldwide after party, right, you won the war, yeah, these 2 characters at least survived all the way to the end. Okay. And that is all for figures on HLJ for this week. We move on to Ami Ami. The next figure over here, this is an Ami Ami exclusive, only for sale in this website. We have Bombergirl Grim Aloe Belly Dance version 1/6 scale by Wing Company, almost 30,000 yen. But this is also one of the best looking scale figures on pre-order this week. They call this, what do you call this? This is like Middle Eastern style, right? Or something like that. But really, Middle Eastern people, other than those dancers you'll see in Fast and Furious movies in Dubai, do Middle Eastern people wear like this? I'm not too sure, right? Regardless, we don't get figures with this outfit and this style that often that I would say this figure is worth picking up. The face expression over there, that is incredible. It is superb that I would really love to drop 30k on this figure and pick up one, right? There has been so many Grim Aloe figures already, Bombergirl figures, many options, different outfits. I don't know much about her, but so far the impression I got is that she is kind of like a mascot character for a game, something like that. That is the impression I'm getting over here, just like Super Sonico, her status. And I like her a lot more than Super Sonico itself, you see. So, out of so many versions of Grim Aloe so far, this one is among my personal favorite. That is how much I like this figure right here. If you like her so much already after seeing these sample pictures from the company, yeah, pre-order it. The next one from Gundam G, we have Master Asia Art Graphics complete figure, under 20,000 yen from Mega House. Gundam stuff has to be Mega House, which is under Bandai. So 20,000 yen for this thing, I would say if you were a fan of Gundam G. Gundam G was pretty controversial when it came out, right? I think it was around the early 1990s, yeah. Plus during that period, this martial art stuff is trending in the world of anime. Street Fighter, KOF and all those things. I think Street Fighter was trending around that period. So what Bandai and Sunrise came up with, they come up with this really weird idea where they incorporate martial arts into a Gundam series. And the result is Gundam G. I have no idea how I managed to finish the entire series, like 48 episodes or so. Actually finished the whole thing. And I asked myself, what am I even watching? Right? I was quite impressed with my patience back then. Today, you ask me to watch something that weird for 48 episodes. I'm not sure if I would continue watching. I would probably drop after 2 episodes or so. And back to this figure over here, this boomer over here. The one thing that is impressive about this figure is the sculpting. You see, all those folds around his outfit and his trousers in general. All those wrinkles and folds in the outfit, and not to mention the wrinkles on his face for an old person. The sculpting on this thing is quite a lot better than the typical Mega House figure I see out there. And for that very reason alone, if you are the kind of person who can appreciate things like that in a sculpture, then this figure might be worth picking up for you, other than just Gundam fans in general. The next one, we have Beastars Pina from Mega House as well, just under 16,000 yen. So this is for those of you who are into bestiality, I suppose. I have no idea what is this thing. I have no idea what is Beastars either, right? Okay. Not to mention, this is a dude, not a female. So I think they know something that I don't know, right? These figure companies, they know something. Because personally, if I were running my own figure company, I wouldn't understand why I would make something like this. Like, how well would it sell? Yeah, okay. The next figure. At the time of recording, this figure is not yet on pre-order in HLJ. It is not an exclusive or anything like that, but they are just a bit slow in posting, right? From Punishing Grey Raven, we have number 21, Solar Frost version and 1/7 scale, 24,750 yen. By Full Reel, coming out in October 2024. So Punishing Grey Raven is one of those game titles where I've never heard of until earlier this year, and we are starting to see a bit more figures from this series over here, this game over here. I don't know much about the game yet, but it seems like the figure companies involved in this game series over here, it is like they are all over the place, right? We have Chinese figure companies picking up some characters and the Japanese doing the rest. Just like Genshin Impact. Other than Apex Toys, for a few other characters, it is like things are all over the place. We have no idea whether these figure brands are cooperating, like you take this character, I'll do this character, whether they are working together and discussing things behind the scenes, I have no idea, but it feels that way, right? As for the character design, that thing down there, is that a cheap copy of that RX-79 ball from Mobile Suit Gundam? Because it really looks like one to me. And this whole bubble thing, suspending a figure, seemingly underwater, reminds me of that Aquatop figure by Full as well, which just came out last month in October. As for character design, not really my kind of figure. Yeah. The next figure, this is a best seller in Ami this week, despite going on pre-order just one day ago on Friday. I'm filming this on a Saturday. And given that HLJ has not listed this figure in their website either, they really need to speed things up with the way they do their post, adding entries to their website so that people can actually buy them and order them. They need to speed things up, or else, yeah, they're going to stay behind other bigger figure shops out there in terms of their sales numbers. Okay, so from Honkai Impacted, we have Elysia Herschel, one of the most popular characters in the game. We have like 3 figures of her already. All of them by Apex, I think. This is also by Apex. So this is Herschel of Human Ego Because of You version. Okay. 1/7 scale, 33,700 yen. Very expensive, right? I think Apex and Mietos. Are there any other brands? I think Weebos as well. I think these three are the most expensive Chinese figure brands at the moment, but they are expensive for a reason, you see. The figures they make are indeed like higher level than other Chinese brands. Astrum Design is an upcoming brand which I'm paying a lot of attention on because I love their character designs, and from what I could tell, their figures are great as well. So Astrum Design is also an upcoming brand that's getting a lot better very quickly. Apex is also top 3 best together with Mietos at the moment. This figure right here, for any Honkai Impacted fans and collectors, this is a no-brainer despite the price, right? There is a reason why she is a top seller in Ami, and as long the price is not a hindrance, pick this one up. This is great. I don't collect Honkai Impacted figures at the moment. I don't have even one in mind that I would like to pick up someday. But who knows, just like Azur Lane, there is a possibility that one day in the future I'll buy something eventually, right? The next figure, also the best one of the week, also not yet listed on HLJ at the time of filming. Shiromi Iori, 1/7 scale from Blue Archive, 24,750 yen as well by Spiritale. I want this so badly. She will be coming out in August next year, plenty of time for me to save up. And even though I may be focusing on FGO stuff, yeah, I can make space for a few other titles, especially Blue Archive, where I'm quite interested in some of the characters, not all, some. And Shiromi Iori is one of those characters I am very interested in. I was already pretty excited when I saw this figure's prototype, the unpainted one in Wonder Festival, right? And now the painted sample looks even better. But the bad news, for me at least, is the base. They nerfed the base. I think the base we saw in the prototype was a lot more sophisticated. It was bigger as well, with more details and more stuff on it. Now they have shrunk it, presumably because they want to keep the price low, right? But at least that is still a nice looking base, like we're not getting a plain round disc. So this is good enough. This is good enough. And will I pre-order one today? Now, this is the big question which I need to figure out for myself. I am actually tempted enough to hit the pre-order button right now. Yeah, which is quite uncharacteristic for someone who does not pre-order figures and wait until after release before looking for bargains. That is more to my style over there. But sometimes when you want something really badly, like that impulsive moment, you see something amazing, something attractive, yeah, you just want to hit that order button just to be sure that you have one figure guaranteed in your hands, right? You're guaranteed to get one, since this is not a limited item or anything like that. The paint work on the hair over here, I love it so much, the gradient paint work. And from the looks of it, I think the edges, the very edges of her hair strands, they are translucent. If they get it done right, I have no complaints about that effect over there. Girls with guns, I've always loved them, so I am really looking forward to this figure. This might even be one of my most anticipated figures for year 2024. That is how much I love this figure right here. Okay, our next stop, niningame.com, for some exclusive items as well, and also B-Full stuff. So the first two over here, these two Nikan Shoujo figures, as usual, we have something from this series every week by Insight. Go and check it out yourself because the figure is pretty much almost nude, right? And then there are also two figures from the native group, including Binding, Rocket Boy, and so on, under their character selection series, something like that, which unfortunately I couldn't put on screen this week as well because, yeah, it is too adult, too X-rated. However, we do have two figures over here which I can somehow cover it, like their borderline. The first one over here, this is among the best looking B-Full and Forts Japan figure I've seen all year this year, right? This is Chie Masami illustration Shinobi 1/6. So, personally, I couldn't tell the difference between what is a Shinobi and what is a ninja, or are they the same thing? If you know something, let me know, right? This one, I'm still covering up the bottom half of the figure, even though she is actually fully covered. Of course, you can cast off the figure, but still there is a lot of butt over there, so yeah, can't be helped. So the pose of this figure, these are kneeling pose, which is common in ninjas and shinobis, right? This thing is really attractive to me. Like the pose also feels really natural. And yeah, we can credit it to the original artist who drew this character, right? I really hope that they get this figure done right. It doesn't have to be the best like outer level, but as long as they don't screw it up in a royal way, this figure has the potential to be one of my first Forge Japan or Beeful figure. I would like to buy one of their figures someday and see for myself what it is like. Yeah, but at the same time, I'm not going to spend 15,000, 20,000 yen buying garbage that breaks in the box, right? Okay, and the second figure on Ninin Game I'd like to cover, this one is not yet listed in both Ami and HLJ, just a matter of time, I think. Haite Kudasai Takamine-san, Takamine Takane, 1/7 scale by Orchid Seed. So I have no idea what is going on over here. So Tuberosa Plus is also Orchid Seed, and somehow Orchid Seed is still keeping the old name over here for some figures. What is the difference? I have no idea. This one is going for almost 25,000 yen at 1/7 scale, coming out in March 2025, and this feels really expensive, right? I think Tuberosa Plus figures are slightly cheaper. You get like 1/6 scale at 20,000 yen. This is almost 25k at 1/7. A simple pose with what I call a summer outfit over here. And I'm not sure if this is worth 25,000 yen if Union Creative was the one behind this figure, even though they are not as good as Orchid Seed. This would cost less than 20k, I think. Yeah, or maybe the licensing cost is different for every artist. I have no idea what goes on behind the scenes, right? However, this one, I can't really recommend it at this price point. And our last stop, our last genuine figure for this week, an Aniplex exclusive. Yeah, she has just gone on pre-order today. Hitori Goto from Bocchi the Rock by Aniplex at 1/7 scale. I think this is hands down the best looking genuine Hitori Goto figure at the moment, right? So this one is going for only 22,000 yen, which honestly is very reasonable. Yeah. So we'll go through the pictures over here. Yeah, I love the details on her guitar, and somehow Aniplex managed to make a figure of a character which otherwise is a pretty plain and boring looking character. Like, you know, she just wears a plain black t-shirt and a plain grey skirt, I mean. If the clothes is boring to look at, it is simple, then you just have the guitar lying across her main body. It makes sense, right? So this is, so far, hands down the best figure of her at the moment. The one made by Good Smile, yes, it is very cheap, like 12,000 yen, but the one by Good Smile, despite being at 1/6 scale, is starting to look a bit like a joke. Yeah, like really poor effort coming from Good Smile. Are there any of you out there looking forward to this figure? I can see this one selling really well and even going up in value after release. So if you want one, better pre-order it early. Aniplex Plus may not ship to every country. You might need a proxy service, or you can wait for Ninin Game to list it a day or two later. Check back their website, because they do offer pre-orders for exclusive items. And that is all for genuine figures on pre-order this week. We move on to OSGK for third-party resins. OSGK is our affiliate partner. For many of the figures, the popular ones which I'm about to cover, there is an affiliate pre-order link down in the description below. Okay. The first one over here, we have Pura from The Legend of Zelda by Third Eye Studio, $500 at 1/4 scale. This figure feels really familiar. I think I covered the same figure before about a month ago when it was still a very early bird pre-order with not many pictures. Now we have the final pictures, the official product pictures complete. And for this specific character, I don't think there are many options in the genuine figure market. If at all, I don't recall any genuine licensed figure of this character. And they had to do this at 1/4 scale instead of offering someone a slightly cheaper option, you see. So this is a bit unfortunate, but if you love her so much, yeah, $500 for 1/4 resin is standard price in the world of unlicensed resin figures. For me, the character design of this thing is not really up my alley. Not really a big fan of Megane anime girls, right? Moving on to the next one from XY Studio, we have Perona from One Piece. This is going for $342. Character only, character plus DLC 387, something nude, right? Oh, okay. I was expecting a nude version. I'm always expecting that. Okay, so DLC, you're getting this thing as an extra. whatever that is, I don't watch One Piece, you see. Okay, so back to this figure. This must be a 1/6 scale, I think. 42 centimeters. Could be 1/4. You see, One Piece stuff, they are usually a lot cheaper than anything from any other series. They did not mention a scale over here, but dimensions, I mean, sitting post, despite that giant base over there, yeah, I think this is a 1/4 scale as well. Yeah, you're just getting that extra thing at the bottom right, as you can see over there. So just a small price increase. If you are picking up this one, maybe go for the deluxe version. I have never been a fan of character designs in One Piece. Like, the face on this girl it is just so weird to me. Like, really round eyes with a huge pupil, black pupil in the center. Never liked the character designs of this series, unfortunately. Moving on to the next one, this is a really weird one, you see, from Yuzai Renshing Studio. I think this is an action figure, like a giant action figure, 1/3 scale. Paimon, going for $379 US, 1 head, 2 head 422, and 3 head 478. So there are, I think, 3 different face plates instead of the head, right? Okay, this thing is really weird looking. Okay, there are, yes, you can pose the figure, you see. Yes, you can change the pose of this thing, but the proportions is just so weird because I think those are human-sized legs. I'm not really sure how to describe this thing. Like, it is weird and creepy at the same time. Paimon is like a fairy, very small, and then you have a huge head, a small body, and even smaller legs. Almost Nandroid proportion. So this thing is weird as hell. I have no idea who will buy this thing, but what do I know? There are weird people out there. Next one from CTCO Studio. Is this an action figure? It looks like one to me. Yeah, I think it is. CTCO Studio and Cool Model Studio. Original character Angel and Liz. This is $95 for Angel, for Liz $115. Oh, okay, this is so much nicer. Anyways, we'll go through the pictures over here and see what is up. This thing is 1/6 scale. 1/6 scale action figure, Hot Toys style, Medicom RAH, you know, but only $95 US. This is a bargain. If you love the character design over here. Okay, let's have a look. Very cyberpunk feel as well. Science fiction. Wow, if all of that is included for $115 US, this is an absolute bargain. You see, I've never been a fan of action figures in general because the joint lines are so ugly and unsightly. Especially for photography, it is like they don't look human enough, the characters, but for something that is already mecha to begin with, a cyborg, it is a different story. In fact, very detailed looking and visible joints are preferable in this case. I really can't decide at the moment which is better, but I would rather get both if I were interested in action figures. I mean, both for $210 US only anyway. Okay. Up next, from S Plus Studio, we have Kaguya from Naruto. Primary color $380 US at 1/6 scale. Cool color for the same price. Oh, okay. Is this some specific unique mode, different mode she is in? Okay, I misread. I saw 25 centimeters earlier, Z. I thought that was the height. No, this is 1/4 scale. The height is 58 centimeters. Okay. And then version A, version B, and version C. What is the difference? Okay, I can already tell. Nude version, right? So I'm not going to click on the pictures over here and leave things as it is. Go and check out the figure on your own. Links are in the descriptions below. Next, this is a very early bird pre-order from Arctic Wolf Studio. We have Ruan. I'm not very good at pronouncing R, you see. From Honkai Star Rail. So this is the only picture we're getting over here. Very early bird pre-order, and there are several versions of the same figure, but no pictures of it yet. Initial impressions, early impressions, very positive. Looks great. I mean, this is a really unique base overall. Like, You have 3 branches, surrounding, and art canvas. This is something new. I've never seen anything like this before. So early impressions are pretty good, but we'll wait for more pictures before I can comment any further. Next one over here, this is among the best resin figures this week. ABsinthe Studio with Hutao from Genshin Impact. Finally, a figure of Hutao which isn't too lewd, I suppose. Yeah. So this one is going for $294 for the standard version. Deluxe version, 361, which I bet you're getting a nude torso, right? Okay, so yes, there is a nude version I can see already in the image previews at the bottom. Even for the standard version alone, she looks incredible already, and if you're looking to save a bit of money, like I don't need that nude version, then yeah, go for the standard one. Okay, this is as far as I would scroll. At least the face of this Hutao figure looks great. But I think I still prefer the lewd one I pre-ordered from, what was the name of the studio again? NiPP Studio, that's right. I pre-ordered that one. Okay, the next one over here from Dirty Pockets Studio, we have Misty from Pokemon. Oh, that is a really hot looking Misty. And the price for this $287, and they're learning from iPhone, you see. There's a Pro version and the Plus version, $382. Presumably, once again, nude torso, extra part, right? Is this really Misty? I can't really tell with that realistic art style, you see. But that nice Psyduck, yeah, I love that Psyduck edition over there. Up next, one of the better looking figures this week as well from FWS Studio and ZZD Studio, we have Ruan again from Honkai Star Rail. And these two figures are so similar, the one with Arctic Studio, see, that you have to wonder whether they are copying each other's homework or there is some industry espionage going on. Like we're spying on each other, seeing what other companies are up to, and then we do something similar because it might sell really well. My theory anyway, this version by this company looks incredible as well. But I will reserve my opinions and more comments for more pictures when they do come out later on. Up next, from ACY Studio, we have Dungeon and Fighter Mistress. Is this from a game or an original character? I'm not too sure. $552 for the regular version. Deluxe version, $585, which I think, once again, nude torso option, right? And this one is my favorite 1x4 scale this week, right? The pose is so badass. This is... I love that. It is not just about the details of the figure. Like, this is an ideal package. We have a detailed base. We have a huge weapon over there. I love women, girls with huge weapons. Not to mention that incredibly attractive pose and the details overall. Like, this is a perfect 1x4 scale figure. To me, at least. Yeah. Too bad I don't really collect stuff like that. Up next, from Game Lady Studio. Okay, so this is their next adult doll for you single and lonely guys out there, you know. You need a life-sized girlfriend but without all the maintenance cost. Okay, so we have 2B from Nier Automata. $2,400 for the hair set version, and hair transplant version $2,581. I heard that the more expensive version, the hair feels more realistic, like it is a different material. But when you're paying $2,500 for a statue or a figure, right? This small difference of $150 might as well go all out and go for the more expensive version, right? Yes, this thing is life-size, 1x1 scale, $171, and if you are wondering whether there are any important details down there, I would say it is almost guaranteed to be a yes. I got to know this company when they made that Tifa figure life-sized statue, not figure, statue. They got famous from Tifa, and now they are making 2B, which I am not surprised at all. And this 2B seriously looks amazing, right? This pose over here, this is so attractive. Yeah, I like this a lot. It is not like I would spend full frame camera money on a life-size statue. And even if I do, yeah, I do have the space to put one in my studio. But I'm not sure if I would want 2B or I'll go for other characters. I can't think of any character at the moment that I would want a life-size statue of. Next one over here from Black Studio, we have Charlotte Lin Lin from One Piece. This is going for $231 at 38 centimeters. Wow, this is really tall. 38 is... It is more like 1x5 to 1x4 scale already, and those are really long legs over there. Yeah, One Piece character designs are just weird as heck. This one as well. Not my kind of thing. Moving on to the next one, we have a teaser pic for a very early bird pre-order. From Mongol Studio, we have Silver Wolf from Honkai Star Rail. And this is the only picture we're getting, no price yet. The other picture, I have no idea what this thing is. I assume this is one of the props next to the figure. Yeah. And for the last resin figure for today, we have MF Studio and Hyperspace Studio Ayako Inoue from Slam Dunk, and it doesn't really look like Ayako to me because of not the realistic art, but whatever. So this one is going for $556 for the standard version. Deluxe version, you're getting a nude version, I suppose, once again, for $684, right? Of course, I am covering the bottom half of the figure because it is something that cannot be put on screen. So the link is in the description below, go and check it out yourself. And as for my comment for this figure, I love the details on the clothes, but that is about it. To me, I don't feel like I'm looking at Ayako at all. Before we end this video, 2 more resin figures, right? I just said this figure, Ayako, is the last one, but there are actually 2 more. The problem with these 2 figures, I can't put them on screen because they are way too lewd. Like, yeah, not appropriate for YouTube. Okay, so we have XHZ Studio Genshin Impact Ganyu going for $210. One of those weird fetish figures, go and check it out yourself in the website. And also this 1x6 scale Diona figure from Genshin, HW Studio, $126 only, and you get to trigger the SJWs out there, right? Yeah, once again, go and check out the pictures yourself. I just said that there were 2 figures this week which I couldn't put on screen, make that 4 right now. I'm adding these 2 new listings because they just came out. So this one over here, Ayaka Kamisato from Genshin Impact by Starry Sky Studio, the very same studio which made that Ganyu bow figure, which went absolutely viral on my Facebook page. Now they are making the same thing, the same pose with Ayaka Kamisato. Once again, go and check out the figure on yourself in this website. 1x7 scale $179 and 1x4 scale $310, which is really cheap. And the last figure for this week, okay, from PP Junk Studio, we have a very lewd figure of Silver Wolf from Honkai Star Rail. Unfortunately, I have to cover the whole thing, including the face, which is unfortunate. Yeah, goals. You see, the thing with YouTube is that it is not just nudity, but also any picture that depicts a sexual act is also counted as forbidden, you see. So this thing has a mouth gag over there, so I think it might count as one of those examples. I'm not too sure, so once again, go and check out the link in the description below if you want to see more. But even the pictures in that link are also quite heavily censored anyway. And that is all for figure news fixed this week. Which one will you pre-order? Let me know down in the comments below. For me, obviously, the best 2 figures. I love Shiromi Iori so much. From Blue Archive, and also that Grim Aloe figure, that I mean exclusive. I think those 2 are the best this week for the genuine side. For the third parties, it is that 1x4 scale woman earlier, that original character holding a huge scarf, that was amazing. And of course that 1x6 scale Hutao from ABsinthe Studio. Those 2 are the best this week. So which one will you pre-order? Let me know down in the comments below. I would love to hear what are you buying next. If you enjoyed today's video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to this channel for more anime figure content pretty much every week. Until then, I'll see you guys again very soon. Goodbye.